Let's take a look at the next drill in our butterfly series. So here we are going to be looking at a combination of single arm with adding then a normal fly stroke. So we kind of call this drill 2-1-2. It's not anything brand new or reinventing the wheel, so to say. So let's kind of go over the key things that we look for here in this drill. In this iteration of the drill, we're going to be using fins and a snorkel while also really having our athlete just do a flutter kick. We like starting out with a flutter kick because it really just assists the athlete in not having to do too much kind of too soon. So just focus more on what the arms are doing, and then you can add in the dolphin kick version of this after this one. So here we look for the right arm here coming out of the water right up at the hip. Perfect. And then our arm is going over the water. Now, something we would kind of want to watch here is just the height of the arm. We kind of see the arm coming out really, really high right here. We'd like to see this arm be a little bit lower to the surface. So this will be something that we would encourage our athlete to have. We kind of want to see that arm just barely go over. So we would want to bring that a little bit lower as we're coming into the water. And then landing wise, for our developmental or age group swimmers, kind of coming in just outside the shoulders would be ideal. If we're kind of approaching that senior athlete or our senior athlete, we tend to then will go a little bit wider to go, or I'm sorry, a little more inward, so that we're going to be more here on top of the shoulder. Snorkel here is just going to allow us to really focus on keeping that head nice and still. And then we're going to go through the catch motion. We'll look at that on a little bit closer on the return view underwater, so we can kind of better see what's going on. And then we go another stroke of the right. So here again, just those kind of same characteristics. We'd want to emphasize this arm also being just a little bit lower. And then we would perform our double arm pull of a butterfly. So here we would again want to see the arms kind of coming in out right at the hip, and then take a look at the difference here of the arms. So here we are much lower than the single arm version of this, and we're driving a lot more energy here to go forward. Here, what we really like is the landing position, the soft, nice landing that we have here of the arms. And then we want to really just focus on getting this nice forward stretch as we're going through the water. Now, a thing to watch with your athletes when they're doing this drill is going to be with the snorkel here. We'd want to kind of keep that snorkel or see that go down a little bit. Here we get a little bit more of a head press on, or a head press will accompany our extension or our landing position here. We'll again kind of see that a little bit on the way back. And then we would look at the other side. So here we see the arm. Taking a look at the other side, now we're going to look for those same characteristics. Hand here coming out at the hip. Now again, just something that we observe, the hand here gets to be up a little bit higher than when we were doing the double arm. So we would want to see and promote our athlete to get the arm down here just a little bit closer to the surface of the water. And then here again, we're going to want to watch that entry. For your younger developmental and age group athletes, just again outside the shoulders. Here on top of the shoulder would be appropriate for a pre-senior or kind of that senior level athlete as they're then traveling through. And we're just going to want to kind of see those same things. Now, if we back up here, we're going to want to go over the kick. So just kind of having those key characteristics of that flutter kick. So here we want to see the toes being in that extended position, which we have right here. We're going to want to see as we kick that the feet are staying up here at that surface level. That's really, really important to create this flow of water behind us. We would for a cue for our athletes, we want to call it white water or boiling water or kind of a thunder kick. Again, just see what cue works for you and your athletes. That will just really kind of help the athlete really focus on overall just here moving nice and forward as we're traveling through the water. As we will kind of switch here to an underwater portion of the kick. So just as we kind of kick here, and one thing we didn't mention above, but just the depth of the kick is going to be really important. So we can kind of see where the body line here is and then where the flutter kick is here. We're kind of getting a little bit under the body, which we'd like. Allow for a natural bend here in that knee. So then as you kick up, you're focusing on bringing that energy up. And then we get a lot of turbulence created here at the surface, making it a little just difficult to kind of see what's going on that takeoff view. All right, now just again on the return view, so head on, here would be just kind of, again, we'd want to see that arm be just a little bit lower here to the surface. And then here, again, really good job of coming in on top of the shoulder. Younger athletes would want to come out just a little bit wider. And then the doubles, and see the difference here in the height of the arms. That's where we would want just right there and there. Beautiful job. Nice soft landing as we're kind of coming in. Hand here is coming out right up at the hip. Just again, we would want to see that arm be just a little bit lower as we're coming it through. Landing just again on a little bit crossed inside. So just again, we would kind of want to, for your younger athletes, kind of picture them kind of coming in entry-wise where these yellow lines are, where your senior level athletes going to be a little bit more on top of the yellow lines here as we're going through. And we just kind of want to keep repeating. Have a nice strong flutter kick here behind us. Then let's take a look at what we see under. So we kind of said before, we got to watch with this drill with the snorkel. We kind of see here our athlete has a depth here in the head. So kind of see here how the head and the chest are going to be kind of at that same level. Like where the chest is, what we would want to promote with the athlete is just to bring that head positioning up a little bit higher and allow that chest to be that deepest point. When we're pulling here, we get a little bit of an out sweep on that left arm. So kind of see that right here. What we would want to encourage our athlete to do is bring that hand in just a little bit closer to the body, helping to assist in that creation of that power triangle. And that's kind of what we mean. That would be that shape right here as we're moving through the water. And then we'll back up here. We can kind of see the right arm's a little bit better. It still could come in a little bit more so that we're going to be a little bit closer here to the body. Again, the whole goal here is to create those nice power triangles. But overall here, our athlete has a pretty nice solid foundation with this drill and with the stroke. Overall here, if you found some great value out of this, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. We've got a lot of great drills on the channel.